So, you know, those are actually our last wills, you know, when we were seniors. Anyway, we've lost our class presidents, second semester and first semester presidents. Gary Millay left us 33 years ago. I actually asked his son to be here. We've had lunch together and so on. And now Paul, I wanted to read some of this, but it's harder to read when you're up here because it was amazing. He's 17 years old and he wrote this. Anybody have good eyesight? Bobby? Just read the first paragraph.
Well, actually, I was thinking the same thing. Because when I was doing the slideshow, I was looking at some of this, and basically Paul had being in high school, I think he was a diplomat as far as what he's doing.
Hard.
See, it is
As students?
As student, it has been our duty to ourselves and to the society to do the best that we can in each activity and each in which we participate. Why should we do our best? The answer lies deep within each of us, whether it has mandated itself. Or not. Manifests itself or not. And it is because of the world as we know it, need it, okay.
What it says, we should all do our best, you know, for our humanity, for our, the place we live. And he's 17 years old and he's writing this, you know. And I want you to read it. You know, it's easier to read when you sit down, but it's harder right now. And then Kathy made a point today about, you know, she talked about emails. And when I found out about Paul's affliction, and we started emailing each other, you know, and I can't read this one either, but he never complained. He never, ever, in the year and a half I emailed him, he emailed me back. He never complained. You know, I complain. I have a bad day in golf. You know, God damn son. You know, he never complained. He always lifted me up. He lifted me up. He was amazing. The only time he said right here, he goes, my right leg continues to get weaker, so it's a little more difficult to get around. I lifted weights yesterday and swam a mile the day before that. I guess I'll go down fighting. You know, that's what he said to me. And, I just wanted to share that with you. I know I said a few words at Gary Millay's funeral 33 years ago. And the words I said then resonate now, and I want to say it about Paul also. But I feel so grateful, so thankful that I was a small part of his life, you know, Paul's life. I said, Gary, and same thing with Paul. I feel so rich. I feel so rich to have known him, because he taught me. He taught me about living and loving, and he taught me about loving your family. It's so important. James Taylor sings a beautiful song about shower the people you love with love. Shower the people you love with love. And that's what Paul did. I'm going to miss him. I loved him.
I remember Paul, several of you said that you didn't know that he sang. Well, I just remember Janet Leach and I, you know, in 7th grade going to the dance, and all the girls would be on one side and the boys on the other. and, somebody'd ask you to dance. And I had a trapeze dress on, our mother's maid, and Janet had a firecracker dress, and Paul sang, I think I was dancing with Charlie Isabella. He sang "Smoke It's in Your Eyes," and we made him sing it about 20 times. He was awesome, even in 7th grade.
One of the comments I was going to make today, like Ralph had said earlier, we were talking, and Spike said earlier today, he didn't realize that Paul could sing so well. Back in 5th grade, when we used to have the traveling gal came around to each room, and we had an afternoon of basically music appreciation. It was one of those situations where Paul would always get up in front of the room, and of course he had, even at that age, he had a very rich, deep voice for being so young. And of course, about that time, Tennessee Ford came out with 16 Tons. He loved that song. He would be up there singing it. Yeah. It was never over. But that was besides his ability to sing and just being a true friend to everybody in school. You couldn't have a better friend. So, that's my fond memories.
I'm going to have to say I'm a relatively newcomer to Davis. I got here in 1960. Anyway, just to give you an idea of how many we have represented from Paul's class here in 1963. You guys could all stand up. There's a bunch of us here. Wow. And the thing that I remember is when I first came to school here and went to Davis High, coming from a little town in the middle of Kansas, knowing who were the good guys and the bad guys. And everyone said, Paul Speck, he's really a nice guy. You know what? He was. A pregnant boss.